Well, how's it? I was instead of making one large video and then I got it downloaded on YouTube, and I'm just going to make a couple of shorter ones and then I can just share them with you directly. But I first wanted to explain how I make these tonfa. They're a little bit different than some of them that you'll see. The parts that I use is the handle, the blade, and the blade relief. Those three parts, that's the terminology that I use. I've taken a lot of time and effort and study on how to make a tonfa that will produce more power, quicker, faster. And this is it. I always use a hardwood that's 1 inch thick, 2 inches wide approximately, and average about 18 inches long. If you hold it up, it's right about to the elbow, give or take a half an inch. And of course my handles are unique, and they cup the inside of your hand. They're not gonna fly off or anything like that. They are kind of tapered right here, but that gives you the ability to spin without getting a bunch of resistance right here on the top of your hand. And if you do it a lot, you can develop war spots or blisters or injuries like that, and then you have to heal up, put tape on them, moleskin or whatever. But the other part that I find unique is the blade relief, the short end. If it's longer, which most people will use a much longer end, then you have to use more of an arc in order to keep this from hitting your arm. So I've made mine just a little bit shorter. They're about 3 inches. They're still long enough to wield the weapon or strike with the blade relief or the short end. But they're not so long that I have to do these big arcs in order to keep from hitting my arm. I want to go faster. I can develop more power, not in the shoulders, but in the tendon. So I can really swing it back so I'm coming across, hopefully right at the neck area here. It's not per se a figure eight, even though that's what it looks like. It's actually two techniques. Depending on what your bunkai is or how you train with it will determine. Whenever I teach a weapon besides bow, the first defense I always teach is against the bow, because that's the most commonly used weapon. So all the sai, the tonfa, I always train those first against a bow. So I wanted to explain how I made these, and so when I come across, I can do it much faster, and I can develop more torque in here instead of using my shoulder or my deltoid muscles. Of course, you're going to use them, but your power is going to generate from your core, your tendon. So when I come across, it's not here, it's here. So I can get much more energy involved in that. And in order to do that, you have to have a properly weighted weapon. If you've got a real super lightweight weapon, or what I call a toy, you cannot develop the power that you can with a authentic weighted weapon, toifa. So I just wanted to explain this. The ones I have here are spalted Tamarine, and all I did with the handles is put some scrap pieces together, four pieces, glued them together, and turned it. And it looks kind of like a bullet right there, but it's not. It's just a wooden dowel that I used to hold these two separate pieces together because they were flat and I didn't want them to come apart. So I kind of doweled it, and I didn't know it was going to get shown when I turned it. But I wanted to explain that. I will do the kata here soon to kind of go through slow and show you how I do the Hamahiga no Toifa kata. And have a good weekend. Tell Mama San I said hi. Hi.